Hello, it's Sue Stiles here, and today I have Henry Devries. When I met you first, Henry, you were at an event and you were speaking and you were in a doctor's lab coat and you were talking about how to get your book written, which I did get my book written with your help, and it was fantastic, very professional, just what I needed. Henry has written a bestseller, How to Close a Deal Like Warren Buffett, and your most recent book that I have read, Client Attraction Chain Reaction. Love it. I sat down with Henry when I was in San Diego last year, and he gave me a ton of great advice around becoming a better speaker, doing a better business, and getting more clients. He's the CEO of Indie Books International. Henry, is there anything else I should share for us to get the most out of our time together?
Welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy the honest advice and personal stories. I'm Sue Stiles, the CEO of the Successful Solopreneurs School of Business, and I'm here to share hope and possibility so that you can reach the unwavering results you desire. Find the best business resources, advice, and offers at SueStiles.com. And now on with the show.
A lot of people like to know that I'm a weekly business development columnist with Forbes.com.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. So I have a bunch of business questions to ask you so that the solopreneurs that we serve, when the business is you and it's all on the line, how can we do business better? And so I want to ask you some business questions, but just before, hey, when you're not working 80 hours a week, where can we find you? What do you like doing? Who's Henry when he's not working?
Oh. On a personal note, I am a baseball nut. My wife would say an idiot baseball savant. So I have visited 43 Major League Baseball parks. I have 3 to go before I touch them all. And people always ask, what are they? Miami? They've just built a new one in Texas, and now the Toronto Blue Jays played in Buffalo. So that made it a Major League Baseball park I have to go visit.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love baseball too. Well, we're not getting a ton of stuff this year. However, we will again. Oh, good, mate. See you at a baseball game sometime.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in one of my books. I give my phone number in case you want to invite me to a baseball game. Here's the number to call.
We'll put a link to that later.
Right.
So I do want to get right into, short, sweet, high-level stuff. You have had business clients for a long time. I know you were the chief marketing officer at a university. You have a lot of experience under you. I always like to start off with asking people, please tell me, in your opinion, what is the best way that we can get clients and grow our business? What are some of the best ways that you have found?
Sure. Well, the number one marketing tool is to write a book. The number one marketing strategy is to talk about it. So I say it's typing and talking. It's writing and talking about what you wrote. So you find all different ways. Even during a pandemic, there are many ways to talk about your book.
Sounds simple. Maybe we can just go over a bit, some examples. Like, I guess if you were, say, a nutritionist or a fitness coach right now, you could write a little book about how to lose weight and help everyone with the 19 pounds over COVID-19 that everybody's gained. Is that something?
And certainly, and on that, losing weight is hard during COVID-19. We had a family discussion and we just decided that we're all better prepared for the coming famine. But that fitness person, they can put on small scale seminars on Zoom and invite people through LinkedIn. They can find the groups that you used to would speak to live, but have gone online and taken it virtual. They still need speakers and breakout speakers. So there's an opportunity there. College extended study courses are still going on. They need instructors. They need guest speakers. I've known people who have gotten so much business just from guest speaking at a college or a university. There are people, you can put on your own courses. There are certain groups for very low money. You can put on a course, market it, and you get money from the course, that's great, but also it introduces you to potential clients. The real money for any solopreneur is what happens as a result of the book and the speaking. If you get paid any money for that, that's like gravy.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking about weight loss and I'm already to gravy. Next, I'll be talking about bacon. Okay.
I'll leave it open for you. Those are great ideas. And even I, like as you're talking, and I speak all the time and am thinking of ideas, you've even given me some new stuff right there. Okay, great ideas for the best ways. If anybody hasn't got their irons in the fire for that, try. But now tell me some of the worst ways that you see people trying to get business sets just doesn't work.
The worst way is spending all this time and money on a website and hoping you will be discovered. It's like people will find you once you get the perfect website up there and you're working on it all the time. I advise some people, I said, if you have a choice between spending that time on the website or taking your money and flushing it down a toilet, flush your money down the toilet. It takes less time and then you can get to what will really get clients. Simply getting on Zoom like we're doing and recording how-to videos for YouTube is a much better solution because people can experience you and your wisdom, your advice, and the more people you help in general with advice, the more will hire you for specifics.
Right. I think people do get very hung up on their website, and it can cost a lot of money, where you just give them the professional presence and then get working to do your clients. Yeah. So I mentioned your company, Indie Books. I hear lots of people, obviously you do too, saying, oh, I've always wanted to write a book, or they started writing a book, or they started 10 years ago. Can you speak to that? If we feel like we might have something in us, personal or professional, what can you tell us?
There's two things with a book. The first is getting it written. And there's 3 ways to get a book written. One is you hire a ghostwriter. I don't recommend it. It's very expensive, and it's right for if you're a CEO of a big company. But one of the problems is your real voice doesn't come out through a ghostwriter. The other thing is, and I call this the misery approach, you go lock yourself in a cabin and don't come out till you have the book done. After the Stephen King novel and movie. So I don't recommend the misery approach, though I've done it. The middle way is find a teammate, a developmental editor is what they're called, and they will work with you to create the book, have the right voice. You're a content expert, they're a how to deliver the content in a book expert, and the teamwork is what works. Writing is a team sport. The next thing is, how do you get it published? 3 choices again. One, a traditional publisher. You know, they probably have a big building in New York City. I've been published by them. But most people don't have what's called a platform, enough people right off the bat willing to buy a book that you're attractive to one of these traditional publishers who would pay you in advance and a royalty. Then the other thing is that, well, I'll self-publish. I call that the S word. It's profanity to me because you should never say your book is self-published. It has this stigma. So the hybrid model is in the middle. It's called independent publishing. And you get people who are experts and have experience and will provide rigor to your book. It's like the indie record industry or the indie film industry out at Sundance. You control the intellectual property and you don't let it go. You invest in some things to bring it to market, but you get a lion's share of the money. Even if you want to do it on your own, you create your own indie publishing company that publishes one book so you don't have that self-publishing stigma. You still need to invest in it because I see a lot of people with, pardon my French, a crappy book. And we don't want to have a crappy book. It doesn't represent us. It's like it's cheaper, but it was like, I've got a big presentation. I'm going to go down to Goodwill and see if there's some outfit I can get to wear. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Well, it's cheaper. Well, yeah, but what's the return on the investment? You know, so your book has to be professional. If you don't get professional help from me, get professional help from somebody.
Well, I would love to include a link to your company so that if people are thinking or want to see these kinds of services, I am sure that they have not even thought out the different ways to go about publishing.
Well, Sue, if there's somebody who's listening to this and they're in your world, I will give them a no-cost strategy call, no selling zone, 45 minutes. I'll give them the ins and outs of publishing. I've written about this. I can get them links to articles on any question they have for years and help them.
You're so awesome. We'll take you up on that.
Okay. Well, my brand is generosity, and I found the more helpful I am, the luckier I get in business.
Yes.
And it's just karma. If it's not from that person, when they bump into somebody, they'll say the 4 magic words of the English language. I know a guy. And the guy they know is me. And that's how I get some great deals.
That's right. Okay, so now we've got people write your book, get your expertise out there. If you were sitting down talking to somebody who was thinking of or had started their own business,
right?
Go ahead and give a fire hose of, what would you tell them in your experience? You want to make sure that they're successful, that they are bringing in an income, not just, have a nice website. What do you tell people?
One thing we say is start with 1 phone call a day, like a vitamin. Make 1 phone call to a prospect a day. And it doesn't have to be a stranger. Matter of fact, that's the last phone call you should make. There are people who you used to work with. Call them. If not getting business from them, they'd be the best people to refer you to somebody. And the next one is people who've talked to you, you've had some sort of relationship, maybe they've asked for something from you, contact them. And you're not trying to sell anybody. You're saying, if you'd be open to having a conversation about my business, maybe you'd be interested, maybe a referral. If you'd be interested in that, that would be great. If is a magic word, it's a soft knock at the door. And it just gets people to talk. As we know, and you know from the real estate world, everybody knows 250 people that they could pick up a phone and call, and they would take their phone call.
That's true.
Start there.
That's true. And yet the statistics in the real estate industry talk about there's an 87% failure rate.
I don't think they fail, Sue. I'm going to give you some pushback, okay? They quit. Nobody fails in business. You quit. Yeah. Because it's the Zen proverb about fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Yes, so true. So you've worked with a ton of people, small business owners, big business owners. Can you share a story or an example of somebody that's seen some success? Give us an example we can think about.
The year's 2015. The place is Memphis, Tennessee. We're in an 800 square foot apartment that Penny Reed shares with her teenage daughter. Penny's at the kitchen table and she's staring at a stack of unpaid bills. She has no idea how she's going to pay these bills. It's a far cry from the 4,000 square foot home she used to live in with her ex-husband, who was also her employer, who gave her all her client work. So no home, no employer, no client work. And that's when Penny met me. And I said, well, Penny, first, what do you know how to do better than anybody else? And she says, oh, I've got this. I know how to grow a dental business. And let me tell you, dentists are screwed up people. They borrow all this money to go to college. Then they borrow all this money to go to graduate school. Then they borrow all this money to open a practice. And they think they own a business. The business owns them. They're going to pay the rest. They're going to use the rest of their life to pay off this business. They don't have cash flow or time to enjoy life, but I know how to give that to them. I said, bingo, we have a business model. She said, oh, great. So we're going to write this book, and then we're going to publish the book, and then I'm going to go speaking, and then I'm going to get clients. And I said, oh, no. What you're going to do right now is you're going to make one phone call a day. She goes, well, but first, what about that book? I said, well, we'll write the book. Well, what's the sexy, provocative title of the book going to be? I said, oh, I've got that. Are you ready? She said, yeah. I said, growing your dental business. It's what you know how to do, and it's what they want. And I say, you're going to call one person a day. Oh, who am I going to call? You're going to call people who book speakers to talk to dentists, and dentists who might hire a consultant. Well, I'm not a salesperson. I said, good, I don't have to untrain you. What am I going to say? You're going to say, if you'd be open to a conversation about booking me to speak to your dentist about my upcoming book, Growing Your Dental Business, that would be great. To a dentist, you'll say, if you'd be open to a conversation about hiring me as a consultant around the topic of my upcoming book, Growing Your Dental Business. So everybody on this call can start today talking about their upcoming book. You don't have to have the book in hand. I'm going to fast forward 2 years later. Penny Reed, her goal was $200,000 a year. She pushed the print button. She went from 0 to 200,000 when you'd read the profit and loss statement. All from that strategy. 2 years. Now, she said, you can tell that story to Sue on 2 caveats. I said, what? 1, don't make my ex-husband the villain of the story. He's not. We just didn't want to be married anymore. And 2, now it's up to 280,000, even during the pandemic.
I love what you said for the opening line of that call. And I get people asking me all the time, like, what do I say? Would you be open to having a conversation? That just sounds so inviting.
If you say, will you have a conversation with me? That's a yes, no, it's a threat. If you'd be open to a conversation, that would be great. So you're leaving the person off the hook. It's how I teach people to ask for anything.
That's a great thing. Write that down. If you'd be open to having a conversation
about that.
Yeah. I think I might know your answer to this, because now you're calling one person a day, one pill a day, but the show is called Hindsight's 2020. And I wonder if you have anything else around, when you look back over your years, do you have any other hindsight that you were thinking of sharing with us when it comes to, people might be discouraged right now or not doing that well in their business. Do you have anything else that you could share?
Yeah, well, people ask how we're doing, and I say, well, we're no Zoom or toilet paper, but we're doing well.
Yeah, right.
So, but the reason we're doing well is I make those phone calls, or I send the emails, or I go on LinkedIn. I used to run a big advertising and PR agency, and I had a hard time sleeping at night because we would do marketing and then we would pray for the phone to ring. That's no way to run a business. You need a proactive system. And part of my system is twice a month I give a showcase speech. I'll do pro bono speeches in front of target-rich environments of independent consultants. So wherever 2 or more independent consultants are gathered, you don't have to pay me to speak. Now, I'm paid $5,000 to $10,000 if a corporation brings me in. I'd have to say, I love those, but they're just a gig. I love my independent consultants, and I'll talk to them all day, anytime, to help them in general. What can you do? Who is your target-rich environment? How can you get in front of them at least twice a month? So some of the things we do is to get someone into my Zoominar, I have to invite 200 people on LinkedIn to link in with me, and then only 100 do. And then I invite them to this free event, and 20 say they'll come, but only 10 show up. And out of those 10, at least 1 will become a client.
Yeah.
You do that consistently. What happens at the 3-year, 5-year mark, and we're doing this for 6 years, the referrals pick up dramatically. And there's something magic about, they've been in business for 3 years, so they're going to stick, 5 years, they're going to stick around. My next milestone is 10. When you reach 10, you're getting more than 50% of your business from referrals. But until then, you're earning the right to get the referrals.
Yeah, that's right. It does take, you do need to prove that you're still going to be in business, because people expect that you might not be next year.
Well, because they hear these statistics in the States. It's from the Small Business Administration that 80% of businesses don't make it to 5 years. It's this thing. Because they quit, Sue. They quit. They're quitters.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm being harsh, but I'm sorry. If you read a lot of the stories of people who are successful, there's usually this part in there about the bankruptcy and the divorce. I'm just saying, I'm glad I've avoided both of those on the way to learning all this. Yeah. Those are hard lessons.
Yes, yes, they are. Now, I like what you were saying about LinkedIn and inviting people to connect, because I know that a lot of people, we talked about cold calling is out, but cold emailing too, cold messaging, like, do you want to buy my services? But everybody is online now. There's a party online. And so you can still go and just connect with people and invite them. You know, if you're not selling something, you're just saying, hey, want to connect with you. I'm putting something free on. If you just want to watch it, you're giving value before you're telling them anything else about your services.
Right. What's their pain? Do you understand their pain? And then how do you solve that pain? Give that information away as much as you can. Mm-hmm. The more you give it away, the more it'll attract people. And people are smart enough to figure out if doing business with you would be in their best interests. Yeah. And you could hide your office in the bottom of a river and they'll find you if they think it's in their best interest to do business with you.
That's right. Yeah, good message. It doesn't have to be all big and splashy. It has to have value. I appreciate all of those tidbits of information. They're tidbits, but if you do them every day, you'll have $280,000 after a few years. That's a great income. So you can, here's my book. You can buy that on my website, SueStyles.com. My business school is there. I'm going to put up Henry's stuff, Indie Books International. But before we go, you promised me that you had a joke for me. So the joke of the day from Henry Devries.
It's a lot of pressure talking to your audience, Sue, because I'm from California and everyone expects a speaker from California to be fit, and I am not fit. I just figured if God wanted me to exercise, would he have given me this body?
Very appropriate for our conversation today. Love it.
There we go.
Love it. Well, I love our conversation, and thank you for listening in. Honestly, if Henry can help you, I'm here. We are here to help and offer you value. So thanks very much, Henry, and appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Sue. Thank you.